So, Grant here, 1% list. I've made a lot of podcast episodes lately about affordability and housing affordability. Um, those of you who know me will know this. Those of you who don't, and maybe this is your first time seeing me, you're quickly going to learn. I don't exactly shy away from controversy. I lean into controversy. I enjoy a good controversial conversation. I like I like the clash of ideas. I'm polite about it. I'm not rude, but I do appreciate talking to somebody and having a pleasant debate with people who disagree with me. And affordability of housing is something that just touches a nerve with me. I hate the fact that the average 20-year-old, is not getting married. They're not having kids because they can't ever afford to own a home. The average age of a home buyer, the average age of a first time home buyer is now 38. If you're 38 when you're thinking about settling down and having kids, you might not ever have kids. You might not have a family, and it's kind of sad. But I talked to someone earlier today who we recently hired somebody, and she said, "Hey, you should talk to my friend," and because she's going to completely disagree with everything you do, and I'm not naming any names of anybody, but she's going to hate the fact that you guys charge 1% to list houses and all this stuff. And so I had kudos to this girl. She sat and we had a 25, 30 minute long conversation. And I kept hearing these platitudes. I kept hearing these knee jerk reactions over and over again of, I'm worth more than that. I feel like I should be paid what I'm worth. I know my worth, all those things. Um, you know, she kept saying over and over again, like, I have to be paid what I'm worth. I have to be paid what I'm worth. Um, which got me to thinking. It's been 5 short years since COVID and housing prices skyrocketed. And so, what was everybody knows that realtors are paid based on the price of the home sold. Okay, typically, very very few real estate agents are working off of a flat fee. They're almost every single real estate agent is working off of a percentage. Even us, we work off 1% list. We charge 1%. It's simple. The public gets it. It's 1%. And so the median price of a home, which is a better number to look at than the average, it's more accurate. The median price of a home pre-COVID was $270,000. The median price of a home post-COVID, like today, is $440,000, which means that an agent charging the exact same percentage today that they charged in 2025, they are making 63% more today. So if an agent was charging 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever they charged, if they're charging the exact same fee today that they were in 2020, guess what? That agent got a 63% pay increase. Meanwhile, the average American, 17%. After inflation, the average American hasn't had a pay increase at all, really. And I mean, purchasing power is basically unchanged for the average American. You could really argue that it's down because inflation is hitting people so hard and everything is so unaffordable. Not just housing, everything. And so for that agent, she kept working. And I mean, she kept saying, I'm not going to work so hard for less money. So I showed her agents of ours because she told me, like, she's money motivated. I mean, most of us are money motivated. Like, even if you're not a real estate agent and you're watching this, if somebody else offers you more money to do the same job, you're probably going to switch who you work for. This is true in sports with some player who has a great year, they sign a bigger contract somewhere else. It's true, in lots of different professions. People get hired away from other companies because they're great. And so I'm not saying people shouldn't make more money. What I am saying is she's saying, I'm not going to work my butt off for less money. And so I show her agents that are making double what she makes by charging less money. And her response to that was, well, I know what I'm worth, and my clients pay me what I'm worth. Well, here's the thing. And if this is what she's worth, then maybe she was charging double 5 years ago, but I doubt it. I'd be willing to bet she's charging a very similar fee today that she was 5 years ago. But the funny thing is that by charging the exact same fee, she's gotten a pay increase of 63%. Meanwhile, the average American, 17, and after inflation, basically nothing. And this is not even considering the fact that somewhere in the middle of all this, the entire industry was sued for price fixing and collusion, and they lost to the tune of billions of dollars. An unbiased jury said, you guys are guilty of price fixing. You guys are guilty of artificially inflating prices to gouge the consumer. And guess what? In the past 5 years, what's happened? Oh, AI made everybody's jobs a lot faster and easier. As real estate agents, we've never been more efficient. And guess what's happened during the time that lawsuit happened? Commissions have gone up. So the average price of a home has gone up 63%, which means an agent's had a 63% pay increase. The broker splits are going down. Agents are keeping more money than ever from their broker. AI is making the job easier and easier and more efficient. We got sued for price fixing and collusion. We lost, and commissions went up. Gee, I wonder why people are frustrated with the real estate industry. And this is not even considering the fact that Zillow is out here running Zillow Flex, allegedly. And I mean, look, you're innocent till proven guilty, but it looks pretty bad when documents are being leaked showing that they are steering people to different real estate agents, and the agents who manage to charge the highest fees are getting all the best leads. And the real estate agents who manage to steer the client to Zillow home loans so Zillow can double dip and make a lot of money off home loans, they're getting the best leads. So let's think about it. Everyone, if you're a real estate agent watching this, you know this stuff is true. You know it's true. And if you're the public watching this, just understand, brokers are learning every day how to be more and more efficient so that they can give more and more money to the real estate agent that works for them, not a single one giving you a break. Please comment wherever you see this, whether you see this on YouTube or anywhere else, please comment. If you see an agent say, anytime you see an agent say, I moved from this brokerage to this brokerage, 9 out of 10 times, do you know what they're really saying? This brokerage is giving me a better deal than that brokerage. Tell me, when was the last time you saw an agent say, this brokerage moved me from, I'm moving from this brokerage to save 20%, and I'm going to pass along the savings to my clients. No agent's ever said that. This is what put me and Kelly on the map when we created 1% Lists. We switched from a brokerage that took half to a brokerage that only took 10%. We did something crazy. We started charging half of what we used to charge. I didn't need to charge 3% anymore. I could charge 1.5%. And my broker gave me such a good deal that basically my take-home pay was the same. And so I did the unthinkable. I just passed the savings along to my client. Who would have thought to do that? Who would think to save the consumer money? No, we're switching from this brokerage to get a better deal so we can keep more profit. No, AI made our lives easier and more efficient, which means we get to keep more profit. No, housing prices have gone up 63%, which means I'm making 63% more than I used to, and my job is more efficient, and my broker's letting me keep more money. When I got sued for price fixing and collusion, but I'm going to go up on my fees. If you're watching this and you're triggered, I'm sorry. But if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm not on team industry. I'm on team poor family that can't afford to buy a home. I'm on the same team with the people who are like, please let something fall my way so that I can hope to afford something at some point. Okay, those are the people I'm looking out for. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, well, my profit's up 63% and my everything is better and easier for me. Let me figure out how I can talk these people into paying me more money. I'm sorry. And look, the girl I talked to earlier today, she thinks like 9 out of 10 people in the industry, maybe 95 out of 100, maybe more. That's how they think. This is what I'm worth. We are the only industry in the world that I know of that gauges ourselves on what we charge, not actually what we make. She jokingly told me that I'm Walmart and she's Saks Fifth Avenue. Guess what? Walmart's worth 900 billion. Saks Fifth Avenue has a 100-year head start on Walmart, and they're probably going to be filing for bankruptcy soon. There's been rumors. But that's what they want to emulate, because that's what she's decided that she's worth, because she's decided that she's worth this high fee. She's not asking the question, what is the best way for me to run a business to make more money and make my clients happy? Because I've always found that if I just run a business asking myself, what does the client want? What does the consumer want? What would make them happy? The more I focus on that, the more money we seem to make. It's shocking. I know, when you run a business that's just there to look out for the client and the consumer. And I know people are going to respond to this saying, oh, I love my clients. I love my consumers. I'm sorry. If your number one goal is to get a huge fee, especially considering what splits have, how much better splits are now, how much more efficient we are now, and the fact that housing has gone up 63%. If your number one thing is, I know my worth and I'm worth this huge fee, don't tell me that your client's your first thing. Don't tell me the client is number one for you. They might be number two, but you are definitely number one. It's looking out for yourself. And when you are looking out for yourself above everything else, and all that matters is how much money can I stuff into my bank at the expense of the consumer and the client, then guess what? Finding business for yourself gets hard. Why do you think Zillow's rich? Why do you think Zillow is worth billions? Real estate agents have been taught and trained, know your worth, keep that fee high. Whatever you can do to get bigger and bigger and bigger fees, that's what you got to do. You got to get big fees. And when you think like that, when it's all me, 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 how can I enrich me at the expense of my fiduciary client? How can I enrich myself more? Let me switch to this brokerage, get a better deal, and I'm going to go up on my fees. Let housing prices freaking double and no one can afford a house. I'm going to go up on my fees. I see ads on social media where coaches are teaching people how to get 4% because 3% is not enough. And shockingly, agents can't find a deal. Well, gee, I wonder why. You're not thinking about the people that are going to be using you. They are so far out of your mind. They are so far out of your concern. The average agent would not even think to ask the question, man, what would make you happier? Is it more open houses? Is it another broker tour? Or would you prefer I be more affordable? If you're an agent watching this, I dare you. Take a video of yourself asking one of your clients, do you think I'm overpaid? Have the audacity to tell them. This girl that I spoke to earlier today, she had a $6 million listing. And she said that there's no way she would have taken that listing at 1%. Do you know what $6 million at 1% is? $60,000. AKA double what a teacher makes in a year. And she said it was beneath her to take that. For her to sell that is worth $180,000. She didn't say what she charged, but that's what she's alluding. Okay, she's worth that 3%. And the crazy thing is, here's the crazy thing. She said, there is no way that person selling that $6 million property would even entertain somebody like you at 1%. She's like, no, they want to pay me a huge fee. I swear, may God strike me down if I'm not telling you the truth. She's like, there's no way he would hire you. He wants a professional that's going to charge that professional fee. So if you're watching this and you're selling a home, I understand Christmas might be a little light this year. I understand you might not have taken that family trip. I understand all these things, but you want to pay big fees. Trust me. Trust me. The real estate agents are sure you want to pay that huge fee. You don't want to save money. But here's where it gets wild. If you're still watching, I asked her, I said, if you showed up to your brokerage tomorrow, and this is a freaking quote, may God strike me down. This is a quote. I asked her, I said, if you go to your brokerage tomorrow and your broker tells you, you know what, you're now on a 60-40 split. I'm taking 40% of what you earn and there's no more cap. Without even questioning anything, like a knee-jerk reflex at a doctor's office, she said, oh, I had 4 brokerages call me last week that would offer me a great deal. So here's the thing. I was like, so hang on. So if your broker knew their worth and wanted to charge a reasonable fee for you, you'd leave. You wouldn't pay it. But your clients, they would not accept anything less than paying you a huge fee. Your clients demand to pay you a huge fee. And you demand your broker give you an amazing deal or you'll walk right out that door. And when I tell you the entitlement and the hypocrisy, she was completely justified in every single one of her beliefs, is what she thought. And how dare I question it? By the end of it, she told me, you know what? I thought you guys were Walmart, but you might be Dollar General because we have the audacity of saving people money and doing a good job. This kind of stuff makes my blood boil. I'm not going to lie, it does. It just does. Look, if you're an agent, you might not like me. You might disagree with me. You might say I'm bad for the industry. But if you're charging 3% today and you were charging 3% 5 years ago, convince me that poor home seller who's trying to make ends meet and you're raking in an extra 63%, I couldn't live with it. I couldn't sleep well. It would bother me. It would truly bother me. And I would be willing to bet, for those of you who have a heart for your clients, have the guts to ask them, do they think we're overpaid? Is your real estate agent worth $16,000, $15,000 to sell a house? Should a real estate agent be able to sell 2 houses a year and make a teacher's salary? Because that's what it takes. $440,000 times 2, that's $880,000 times 3%, it's $26,400. Hang on, let me ask you the question. What does the average public school teacher make in where I'm at? And before you come out with me with, oh, well, I don't get retirement, I don't get benefits. Okay, sell 3 houses in a year. Your extra $14,000 sure will pay for a lot of insurance and a lot of retirement. Your extra 14, 15 grand. What does a teacher have to deal with in order to make that kind of money? I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Well, maybe I'm off with what a teacher makes. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you got to sell 5 houses. But I don't know. Rant over. Sometimes things just blow my mind. Affordability is a problem. Affordability is a huge problem. And we can only control what we can control. We can't control investors who buy up tons of houses. We can't control interest rates. We can't control a lot of things, but we can control price gouging. We can control some of these things. I'm committed to controlling those things. If you're not, I understand. Keep knowing your worth. I'm going to do what feels good. I'm going to do. I'm going to help. Happy holidays, everyone.